Alright guys, here we go. It's in the Grand Arena, game number 1 between Tempo Storm and Please Sponsor Us. I'll see you in all a hot minute. Welcome everyone to the Grand Arena. It's Please Sponsor Us versus Tempo Storm. And it looks like Merc Minds, Sam I Am, and Rubcub opted to play that Holy Paladin God composition, which consists of a Shadow Priest, Frost Mage, and Holy Paladin, which normally has a very good shot against Rogue Mage Druid. But it looks like Tempo Storm is actually going to be running Rogue Mage Paladin. Tempo Storm took down Cloud9 in the finals of the Cloud9's RMD in the Cloud9's God Comp in the last tournament as Rogue Mage Paladin. Can they do it against Please Sponsor Us? Here we go. The gates have opened. Sap goes out onto Sam I Am to stop those blizzards, and they're going to go ahead and cheap shot Merc Minds as well as Sam I Am, and Rubcub into the Deep Freeze, full Polymorph land. Sam I Am the kill target, taking a whole bunch of pressure to the defensive fear coming out from Merc Minds, stopping it, but the block is still going to be forced here in the opener, and Tempo Storm takes a fierce lead moving forward into the game. The Death from Above lands onto a block. Save of the Light still procced over out onto Sam I Am. Full blind onto Rubcub's going to force the trinket, but he goes into that stun from Peekaboo, but now Peekaboo trying to get aggressive onto Sam I Am with this bomb. Rubcub's going to get the bop over out onto Sam I Am, but still, Tempo Storm is forcing so many defensive cooldowns. Elite running that blind is such a surprise. Now swapping the pressure over out onto Jamili, forcing that Save of the Light, ripping right through it, forcing a block onto him as well. And Please Sponsor Us says, yeah, that might be surprising, but we're going to bring it right back at you and force you into your block, as well as Elite's trinket. Jamili now blinking forward. He's looking for a polymorph out onto Rubcub. He gets one, but Sam I Am doing a great job getting away from Peekaboo. Here's the Groat. Here's the cheap shot onto Peekaboo. Death from Above lands out onto Sam I Am as Rubcub gets Hand of Sacrifice, but it does get dispelled fairly quickly by Jamili. So great job by them to get that off to avoid even more CC, but it looks like Tempo Storm's momentum is completely gone at this point, and Sam I Am and Merc Minds are the ones who wants to get aggressive. Deep Freeze, polymorph onto Elite. Silence goes out onto Jamili, but Peekaboo's trying to turn it around with his dance. Kidney shot over onto Merc Minds, polymorph onto Rubcub. Sam I Am once again all alone. Save of the Light's gonna proc. He's gonna overlap it with his ice block. No ice blocks left for Sam I Am. The only thing left to save his life is Rubcub's bubble. He's into triple CC though. Save of the Light's gonna fall off, but the cheap shot onto Sam I Am's gonna force his blink. Rubcub's desperately trying to cast through that. He's trying to juke the CS from Jamili. He's trying not to free cast too much, but Sam I Am's gonna be completely fine with that execution sentence. Ooh, that bop coming out from Rubcub's gonna negate the damage completely of that Death from Above's Peekaboo. But Jamili being swapped over to silence onto him, dipping him down so low. Save of the Light's gonna proc. Bubble being forced out by Elite. They're gonna trade that up, but it's gonna be mass dispelled by Merc Minds. Now Elite being put into the Frostjaw. Jamili may still have to block regardless, and now a 2-for-1 special on that mass dispel. Great job by Please Sponsor Us, and Tempo Storm is now on their back foot. Now Rubcub, he has just a trinket, and he has a bubble and a trinket available to him moving forward into this game. He's got to be feeling comfortable. Even though his mage has no blocks, he has a lot of outs. There's the full blind on the Rubcub. Sam I Am at 50% health here. He has no bubbles available to him. Sap on Rubcub's gonna force the bubble, and all of a sudden Tempo Storm just fighting their way back in, and this is such a crazy matchup. Both these teams just forcing so much. That blind always off cooldown at the best moment. Elite landing him on the Rubcub over and over and over again. And here we go. There's the Deep Freeze onto Elite. The Horrify over out onto Jamili. Jamili's going to trinket out of that, try to get something done. Peekaboo cheap shotting the entire world at this point. Rubcub being put in for the full kidney shot. Sam I Am still the kill target. 14 seconds left on his block. Can they land the kill in time? Rubcub comes out, use the execution sentence. Frostjaw being kicked onto Sam I Am. Execution sentence as well as the trinket. Sam I Am might be still in a lot of trouble. Half polymorph lands out onto Rubcub. No trinket available to him. All the outs have now been used, and Jamili now is the main kill target. 29 seconds until that block comes off a cooldown. Elite without any outs. He's got to gotta be careful. The double fear from Merkmines on both Peekaboo and Elite is gonna make Jamili all alone. Silence goes out onto Jamili, into the Horfry Frostjaw onto Elite. No Aura Mastery available to him. Jamili's going down, 20% healthier. Cheap shot onto Rubcub, Garrote onto Sam AM. Peekaboo's trying to make something happen here. That was a smoke bomb. Jamili somehow is alive and saved. Peekaboo's aggression actually saved Jamili's life there. Great job by Tempo Storm fighting their way back into this game. Now Jamili all of a sudden has another ice block available to him, and Sam AM is completely out of him. Rubcub has no outs left at this point. If Tempo Storm gets another good opener, this could be it for Please Sponsor Us. Sam AM getting polymorphed up, and it looks like Garrote onto Sam AM, cheap shot, or kitty shot into Sam AM's death from above. Rubcub in the polymorph, nothing to follow it up yet. Hodge on the Merkmines to avoid any more follow-up from Jamili. Frostshot is going to land out onto Rubcub. It's going to be Aura Masteried off. Sam AM looks like he's going to be completely fine, and Peekaboo's the one who's in trouble. No trinket available, into the Horrifying, down he goes. Please Sponsor Us taking game number 1 off the RMP. Alright guys, we're going to be jumping into the next game here very shortly between Please Sponsor Us and Tempo Storm. Game number 1 goes to Please Sponsor Us, and we're going to find out here what Tempo Storm's going to do about that. Please Sponsor Us, because they are the winner of the game, they will have to announce their composition ahead of time to Tempo Storm, and Tempo Storm will then choose their own composition, maybe to counteract it. We're going to find out. That being said, Tempo Storm actually has to lock in their map choice before they hear the composition from the opposing team. So they could potentially kind of hint towards what composition they want to play with their map choice. But in this matchup specifically, I don't think the map choice is really going to say all that much, personally, especially if they go to someplace like Tiger's Peak. Tiger's Peak is about as neutral as a map choice as in the Grand Arena. So by picking Tiger's Peak, you really don't hint to any composition advantage at all. So I'm interested to see what it is they're going to end up choosing. Thank you guys for coming and tuning in here between this crazy matchup between these two teams, Tempo Storm versus Please Sponsor Us. Make sure you guys are following all these guys on Twitter, because they do stream quite often. As I heard, Rubcub does stream quite often. So follow them up and catch their live streams, as all their gameplay is really cool. We also do have a stream team. So if you guys want to see some competitive players streaming, make sure to check out our stream team, which is twitch.tv/team/GCD. That'll actually show you a lot of teams, or a lot of players that are really competitive are actually part of the stream team. So if you want like a portal to find some competitive World of Warcraft 3v3 players, that's a good place to go. Yeah, the team is GCD TV, but the URL is actually just GCD. It's kind of peculiar. We also have a guild. Check out our Alliance guild on Tichondrius. If you want to join that guild, we accept anyone. Anyone can join the guild. All we ask is that you kind of have a positive attitude. We don't really like a lot of trolls or anything like that. We just kind of wanted to form like a positive community around PvP specifically on Tichondrius. So if you're into that sort of thing, come and ask us for an invite. We'll send it right out to you. Specifically ask Rose McGowan. I keep butchering your name. I am so sorry. Rose McGowan. There you go. Whisper Rose McGowan in GCD TV's guild on Tichondrius. But here we go. Game number 2 on Tolvaron Arena. Welcome everybody to Tolvaron Arena. It's Tempo Storm versus Please Sponsor Us. Peekaboo, Jamili, and Elite swapping over to that composition, which is a Shadow Priest, Frost Mage, and Holy Paladin. They're going to mirror up Please Sponsor Us. I love to see me a mirror. That being said, Merkmine, Samayam, and Rubcubs are all mains to these classes. Peekaboo, as you all know, this is his ult. This is his Shadow Priest. He usually mains a rogue, but he's been playing the Shadow Priest quite competitively as of late. It's going to be a crazy series. Here we go. The gates are about to open. Gates have opened right away. Jamili and Peekaboo out in the fray, trying to get some damage going, getting the frostbolts out, getting the icicles right away. Elite in the far backline. Both these teams just choosing their own pillar. Horrify goes out in the Samayam. 2 Ice Nova. Save of the Lights going to proc. Samayam forced to run away. Wings Execution Set is going to be used by Rubcub. Hand of Sacrifice on Samayam as well. Should break him out of this polymorph, but the full fear is going to land. Now Merkmine's trying to turn this around onto Jamili. Horrify goes out into him. Double Ice Nova onto him. And it doesn't, not even a Save by Light's going to be used as Peekaboo uses that shield onto Jamili, as well as the Execution Sentence from Elite. Jamili still is the one who's the kill target. Silence goes out into him. Devouring Plague as well. Elite being put through the triple DR polymorph. He's still at 42% health here, but both of these mages holding on to their block. Save of the Lights going to proc here. However, now Tempo Storm turning it around once again. Ice Nova, Devouring Plague onto Samayam. Merkmine's actually going to get that full Master Spell onto Rubcub CC. Now Rubcub being put into the full fear. Can Tempo Storm follow it up over out onto Samayam? It looks like they're swapping over onto Merkmine's with that full Hodge. Merkmine's now at 40% health. He's just going to go ahead and line of sight here. Tempo Storm definitely the aggressor, it seems, in this matchup. Always looking for that opener. Horrify on and Jamili. He still has that block available, and Elite's going to go ahead and shrink it out of that, but be put into the full polymorph as well as the full fear. Jamili at 16% health here is forced to ice block, and all of a sudden Please Sponsor Us is forcing some defensive cooldowns from Tempo Storm. Jamili's shield from Peekaboo is going to make him completely fine as they push forward here. Full polymorph goes out onto Rubcub. I'm not sure who Tempo Storm is trying to set up on this, but this full polymorph needs to get something done, and Samayam and Merkmines are both just going to pull back for now. I don't know. I feel like Tempo Storm is definitely falling behind here. No block, no trinket, no nothing left for Tempo Storm. They have a bubble and 1 block remaining, which is consistent. It was not nearly as good as Please Sponsor Us, where they're completely fine. Jamili looks like still the kill target for Tempo Storm. The fear goes out onto Elite, and Jamili still the kill target. He's got feared actually out in the middle of the map. Hodge goes out on the Merkmines. Look at the cross CC Tempo Storm setting up right here. Full fear onto Rubcub as well as Samayam. Merkmines all alone. Horrify from Peekaboo. Peekaboo's gonna land. There is the orb as well. Whole bunch of pressure coming in. Rubcub jumping into the orb to try to prevent any more upcoming CC to just break. Love that move coming out from Rubcub, and Merkmine's gonna catch a huge heal. Elite now in the half polymorph, and Peekaboo in the full stun. Jamili's got to be careful, and he's just going to pull back with that defensive blink for now. He doesn't want to give up another ice block. Both these team setups, I feel like they're definitely in favor of Please Sponsor Us. They're getting more defensive cooldowns. Peekaboo forcing to disperse now out of that. Elite using his wings, trying to keep his team aggressive. Deep freeze onto Rubcub. He preemptively used the Hand of Sacrifice, but it actually got dispelled off. Horrifying to Samayam. Hodge on the Merkmines. Poly on the Rubcub. Tempo Storm has the setup they want. Samayam taking a whole bunch of damage. Just going to blazing speed and get the heck out of there. He does not want to trade up a block to stay in their face. Master Spell coming out from Peekaboo would look, or actually from Merkmines to get Rubcub out of that CC. But Merkmines always with those Master Spells, constantly getting his team out of that CC. Now Samayam's pushing up in 22% health, and he actually, after his blink, is actually forced to block, and I think Rubcub actually might be disconnected, which is really unfortunate. As soon as these gates open, it's over. There's no replays and once these gates are open, so it's really unfortunate that happened to Rubcub, and it looks like Samayam is going to go down, and Please Sponsor Us is going to lose this game to Tempo Storm. And there you have it. Rubcub still technically in the arena. He's just sitting there. Very unfortunate for Rubcub. Hopefully everything's okay and he's able to get back in the game. Looks like he got back in the game just in time to find out he lost. And there you have it. We're going to be getting into the next game here very, very shortly. And it's currently tied up 1-1, so kind of a game to throw away, considering they had that 1 lead. So now all of a sudden this best of 5 series has turned into a best of 3. We're going to be finding out what's going on. Hannah, you want to update us on what happened? You just got DC'd. Okay, it's unfortunate. Alright. Stinks, man. It happens to the best of us, but unfortunately, because of shenanigans, we can't really do a replay or anything like that, so we're going to be going into game number 3 here very shortly. Yes, our rules are very, very specific when it comes to this. As soon as those gates open, there are no replays. Unfortunately, World of Warcraft doesn't have a pause. That would be convenient to have a pause, but it's probably just a little bit too complicated for them to implement. Maybe one day. Maybe one day we'll merit a pause. That'd be super nice. But it's hard, though, because World of Warcraft is so fast-paced. It's like a pause 1 second and then a pause in 3 seconds from that 1 second could literally mean 7 major defensive cooldowns. Like, the advantages and disadvantages that you get in World of Warcraft happen instantly. So it's a very hard gray area to write a format around. But we found that this is the fairest, you know. And so far, this has been the only hiccup in the tournament. So it's working so far, but unfortunately, RubCub was unable to continue to compete there at the very end of that. And Sam Am actually just blinking in and trying to go ham was forced into a block. We're going to find out what's going on here very, very shortly, guys, as we get into the next game. Do I still play Retribution? I do. I do. It kind of sucks because I buy Ret gear and then I buy Holy Paladin gear. So I actually just started to afford my Holy Paladin weapon and shield, and I just started to afford my Holy Paladin two-handed, or my Retribution Paladin two-handed sword. So because I'm splitting up my gear like that, and like not all pieces are shared, like your weapon's like really important, you have to buy that. But not only that, but like the 4-piece set bonus isn't the same on both specs, so it's a struggle, dude. It's a struggle. Because I like to play Holy Paladin with all my friends, because you can't really play Ret other than Ret Hunter, right? So make a decent guild. I'm not really interested in making like a super elitist guild that has like a rating requirement. It's not really something that I feel is even beneficial to the community. I'm much more open to providing a guild that anyone can join and anyone can improve on. I feel that like saying that only 2,200 players are allowed in this guild is like saying everyone who's not 2,200 right now could never get 2,200. You know what I mean? So I feel like that almost puts out a negative message. So I don't really want to do that. Get Bajira as a host. Maybe one day, maybe when we have our own LAN, we'll invite Bajira as a host. That'd be really cool. What's my CR on 3s? I actually have not done 3s yet this season. Well, on this character anyway. Catering to casuals, I feel like, is a term that has been kind of ruined. Because, I mean, like, catering to casuals and increasing your accessibility to your game are two very different things. Like, you look at the other esports out there that do very well, and I feel like a big reason why they do so well is their game is so very accessible. So, if you don't cater to casuals completely, then all of a sudden your game loses a lot of accessibility and, in turn, loses a lot of potential to become a big esport. So, you're kind of shooting yourself in your foot. I feel like everything kind of needs a harmony between it. You can't really be extreme on either side. You have to see that both sides have merit. But here we go. We're going to be jumping into the next game instead of getting away from being all so philosophical. It's Tiger's Peak is the next map. Oh man, just kidding, they're not ready yet. What's going on? The queue actually is glitching, guys. I'm sorry. We're going to get into the games here very shortly. Stay tuned for that. It is Tempo Storm versus Please Sponsor Us. And so far, it is tied up 1-1 due to some unfortunate circumstances. Tempo Storm running Elite, Jamili, Peekaboo, and Starship. It looks like they're going to be sticking with that Holy Paladin God Comp composition is my guess. I actually wasn't able to see what comps these guys are playing yet. But they're going against Please Sponsor Us, RubCub, Beanslayer, Samam, and Merkmines. I'm assuming we're going to be seeing another Frostmage, Shadow Priest, Holy Paladin Mirror. Of course, it's going to be on Tiger's Peak. And the queue actually worked. Alright, here we go. Let's jump right into it. Right away, we see Jamili, Elite. Oh, Peekaboo enters the arena on his rogue. He feels like he has a better chance instead of mirroring up against Please Sponsor Us to hop over onto that rogue and see if he can make something happen that way. Now, you say, oh, but RMP is supposed to be disadvantaged, right? I don't know. Tempo Storm actually made work happen during the finals of tournament number 3 yesterday. They actually beat Cloud9 running God Comp. So Tempo Storm has proven time and time again that they can make things happen with this team. Peekaboo running with Jamili, but at the same time, we normally talk about RMD, not RMP, with a Paladin. So maybe a Paladin changes the matchup completely. We're going to find out here in just a few short seconds. 9 seconds until these gates open. It's Tempo Storm versus Please Sponsor Us. Game number 3 of this best of 5 series here in the upper bracket. Which one of these heavyweights is going to be moving on to face Cloud9 in the semifinals? We're going to find out here at GCD TV. Coming up next, Peekaboo moving in with the Shroud, trying to find a good opener. These openers coming out from Tempo Storm are always just so fun to watch. Sam getting sapped up for now. Not sure where Peekaboo's going to be headed here. Let's see what happens. Polymorph coming out from Jamili. He's going to land it full on the Rub Cub. Garrote on the Sam. Double cheap shot coming out from Peekaboo. Death from above lands out on the Sam. Chunking him down. It's going to force an ice block. And once again, Tempo Storm's openers just always gets a defensive cooldown. But now Please Sponsor Us are trying to turn that around. Hodge on the Peekaboo. Poly onto Elite. Peekaboo taking a whole bunch of damage. Holding onto that trinket for now. He's going to vanish out of that setup. And I love that vanish. A 1 minute cooldown for that setup is nothing. But here we go. Jamili now the kill target. Catching that Ice Nova from Sam. There's the bomb onto Sam from Peekaboo. He's trying to get something happening. Deep Polymorph lands out onto Rub Cub. Sam into another cheap shot, but Rub Cub's going to leave that CC and get the Wings execution sentence, topping Sam off completely. And both of these teams are just trading these very short defensive cooldowns with one another. But now Sam's in some trouble. Full blind goes over out onto Rub Cub, so I believe it was hand sacked. I'm not sure. It actually broke. No, he trinketed out of it. But Jamili on the back foot is forced into the block throughout all of that. Elite's Wings are going to be fading here very shortly, and Jamili on hypothermia has got to be careful here moving forward into the game. Elite on a lot of DRs, however. There's a deep freeze onto Rub Cub. Can they follow it up? Jamili looking for the polymorph. He's going to land it. He lands it. It actually breaks instantly. I'm not sure what's breaking these. Oh, it was the hand of sacrifice over out on a Sam. Great job by Rub Cub landing that hand of sacrifice before that polymorph. And Sam still the main kill target. Death from above is going to land once again onto Sam. His Elite is put into the CC and is going to force to bubble. He actually bubbled right out of it. Gets mass dispelled by Merc Mines, however, and Jamili may still have to block regardless. Aura Mastery coming out from Elites on that Frostjaw. And now Tempo Storm's trying to get aggressive onto Sam with that kidney shot. Deep freeze on the Rub Cub. Nothing to follow it up. Execution sentence going to be used on Sam to heal him up. For now, Death from above. Ice Nova's connecting onto him. Rub Cub being put into the Elite's blind. I love that talent choice coming out from Elite, adding him being a much more versatile Holy Paladin and catching that. But Rub Cub actually caught the eye. Maybe he can be swapped to here moving forward, but looks like Sam is just going to be the kill target from here on out. Rub Cub trying to get some cast off onto Sam. Saber Light's going to proc. Sam blinking forward, getting the Ice Novas onto Jamili. He's horrified up. Elite's fully polymorph. Jamili's got to be careful. He gets interrupted on Frost as well. He has that one ice block available to him for 50, but he's at 50% health. He's got to be careful. But because Jamili is so defensive as Elite is put through the CC, he can't really help out his team. And another Ice Nova connection. It's going to force him into a block. Jamili blockless now moving forward into the game is going to be a very scary position for them to play aggressive. And that's the only way. They kind of have to play reckless at this point because they don't have the cooldowns to play with. There's a dance coming out from Peekaboo. Cheap shot into Merc Mines. It's going to be bopped off instantly. Sam now blinking out of his cheap as well. Elite being put into the full Hodge. Rub Cub in the deep freeze. Death from above lands on a Sam, chunking him down to 70% health here. Full polymorph lands. That Hodge onto Merc Mines as well. The cross CC was there, but it looks like Sam is going to be completely fine to move forward into the game. He has another ice block in just 11 short seconds, and Please Sponsor Us as God Comp is doing so well. Merc Mines Mass Dispels under Rub Cub really adds a diversity that gets him out of that CC. But here we go. The fear goes out into Jamili, and the polymorph lands onto Elite. Jamili blockless at this point. This is a scary position to be in. Peekaboo tricking out of that cross CC Hodge. Jamili blinking back at 6% health, getting deep frozen, and down he goes. Please Sponsor Us taking game number 3 in convincing style. right, guys, there you have it. Please sponsor us. Just one game away from beating Tempo Storm and moving on here in the upper bracket. Can they do it? Can they pull it off? We're going to find out in just a few short seconds. Tempo Storm, because they lost that last game, are going to have the composition advantage if they so choose to utilize it, but also the map choice. I'm interested to see what map choice they're going to be choosing. I'm just looking over at the head admin Clutter and thinking, what map choice are they choosing, Hannah? You're still waiting. Alright, we're waiting on the map choice, guys. As soon as we get that map choice from them, I will be talking about that. We had so many subs today. Our sub train today has been actually unbelievable. We're at 174 subscribers out of 200. 26 short subscribers, and we will be hosting the 1v1 Class All-Star Tournament, which is going to be awesome. Some of our favorite players in this game are going to be going head-to-head to see who's the best of their class, and I can't wait to see that go down. It's going to be a lot of fun. Now, just so you guys know, that Class All-Star Tournament was actually voted on. We actually had a vote to see what our sub goal was going to be, and everyone actually voted on the 1v1 Class All-Star Tournament, and a handful of other people voted some other stuff. But if you wanted to get on that and you wanted to be the decision maker on like stuff like sub goals and the future of what we're doing, make sure to follow us on Twitter and get a part of these polls. Oh baby, the one, the only, the Roasties has entered the subscription zone. Thank you so much, man. Jack, for that sub. Really do appreciate it. You get a GCD, yes. Can we get some GCD hype in the chat for the one and only Roasties? GCD hype. What is the current pot for the winners? The tournaments are a $500 prize pool, though the finals in which these teams are trying to qualify for are a $2,000 prize pool. Now this pot is completely donated. All of our donations go directly to fund these tournaments, but also our funding for these tournaments also come from our sponsors, which are Jinx and Splice. So as we gain more sponsors and gain more momentum and more viewership and everything, we will make our prize pools even bigger. That being said, we're going to host a Kickstarter come the end of January for the Pro League tournament, or Pro League Season 2, which would be Pro League Spring. That's going to be happening at the end of January, so if you guys want to help the dream be real at the end of January and help us out and build a bigger prize pool for Season 2, that'd be amazing. Swifty would Q double healer. Unfortunately for Swifty, double healer is actually prohibited in the format, as well as double tank. Does Clutter have a... Yes, she does. 10k viewers on a $500 tournament. Yeah, well, I mean, it's all about getting the money preemptively, right? So when you're talking about a tournament like this, you kind of have to put up the money preemptively. You can't be like, oh, this is how much money we will make, right? So it's very difficult to do, especially when you're talking about a Pro League season. But as we grow, we are getting a lot of support. Yeah, we are 174 subs. It's true. Oh my gosh, the Swifty dank memes are intense. 3 DPS prohibited? No, sir. 3 DPS has been seen quite a few times from some desperate teams. What happened to viewer sub tourneys? We are thinking about doing something similar to that. We're thinking about doing those on a specific day of the week, but we are still determining on what it is we're going to do. So on Wednesdays now, we're going to have War Game Wednesdays to allow top tier players to be able to face one another, or at least challenge one another to a war game. That could be 6v6 or anything like that. So I'm really stoked to see that. I'm really stoked to see some more RBGers get into the fray and compete at GCD TV. So that's going to happen on Wednesdays, but so, I mean, the sub and viewer tournaments we're probably going to bring back, but we don't know which day we want to bring it back, or which day, or what time would be best too. So, yeah, we're going to be jumping into these games very, very shortly. The next map of this Best of 5 series is actually going to be played out on Blades Edge Arena. Oh, baby, we just got ourselves a new subscriber. Let's see who it is. Oh my gosh, this chat's moving so fast. Chat's moving so fast, they won't see me subscribe, but I did. Thank you so much for that subscription. I'm going to get you. Aha. We have the new subscriber Roasties, as well as Varadui. Vardui. Thank you so much for that subscription, man. Let's get some GCD hype in chat for our new sub. Really do appreciate that. We also got another sub, Fistdorlock. So we had 3 new subs in a row right there. So thank you guys so much for that. And I'll see you guys in Blades Edge Arena. We're going to try this one more time. Let's see what's gone wrong. Here we are. They have entered the arena. It's Merc Mines, it's Sam I Am, it's Rubcub going up against Tempo Storm, and these scores are wrong. I apologize for that. It's actually, I believe it's 1-2. Yeah. It's 1-2. So please sponsor us, just 1 game away from taking down Tempo Storm. But maybe this scoreboard's this mistake might be a foreshadowing of the future. Maybe Clutter's trying to say something. That's messed up, Clutter. You gotta get Tempo Storm a chance. They could take it back 2-1. Alright, this game is about to open, and we have ourselves, once again, a God Comp mirror between Tempo Storm and Please Sponsor Us. Peekaboo swapping from his Rogue back over to his Shadow Priest and trying to make something happen here. Can they take down Please Sponsor Us in a mirror? We're going to find out here very, very shortly. Rubcub getting to the top right away. This is Blades Edge Arena, though. This is Tempo Storm's home base. They love themselves at Blades Edge Arena. They choose it so often. Sam I Am catching some Ice Novas as well as the Orb. Hodge on the Merc Mines. Polymorph on the Rubcub. No Master Spell available. Not today. Execution Sentence as well. The Wings are going to be used by Rubcub to heal up Sam I Am, but he's still taking a lot of damage from that Devouring Plague. Now Sam I Am wants a piece of the action as well. Orb going to be used by Sam. He's trying to push in. Hodge on the Peekaboo, but Elite's avoiding the CC quite well. These Polymorphs over and over onto Sam I Am are really preventing the momentum to CC Elite. I really like that play coming out from Jamili. Sam I Am is always the one who's been taking the damage here, but Elite's still going to catch the full poly, and he's going to trinket out of that. Jamili also trinking out of it as well, catching some heals for now. Elite not even using wings just yet. The half polymorph lands, and now all of a sudden they're swapping the pressure back over onto Sam I Am, and Rubcubs is going to bubble, and this is a very different game coming out from Tempo Storm that we've seen in mirrors in the past. The Tempo Storm finding their stride. Devouring Play hitting Jamili. Jamili just playing defensive right now as Elite's put through the CC. He's going to come out, catch the Execution Sentence, and get back aggressive. Merc Mines put into the Polymorph. Going to be dispelled by Rubcubs very quick. Both these Paladins running that double dispel glyph. Love those plays. Sam I Am is the kill target once again. Devouring Play going down, bringing him 30%. Rubcub getting put into the full fear. Save of the Light's going to proc, and it's going to be ripped through Peekaboo's Cascade right away. And that's going to be a block coming out from Sam I Am. Please sponsor us now. Down a block. Down a bubble. They are down to the defensive cooldowns for sure. Merc Mines also forced to disperse. They swap the pressure right over onto him. And please sponsor us. They're so defensive. Sam I Am's in trouble. Hypothermia is still on. Deep Freeze on the Rubcub. Sam I Am's silence. The bubble comes out from Merc Mines. 10%, 17% healthier. Can Tempo Storm land the kill? Double Death comes out, and Tempo Storm earns their place back into this series, tying it up 2-2. Alright guys, there you have it. Yeah, I'm sorry guys, there was a quick glitch there. Sorry about that. It is still tied 2-2. We just accidentally pressed 3 instead of 2. That's literally all that happened, so don't even worry about it. It's tied 2-2. We're going to be going into the final game of this series between Tempo Storm and Please Sponsor Us. Both these guys are playing so very good. Peekaboo jumping onto his ult. Shadow Priest is going to take a win off of them. Maybe we're going to have a final game of a mirror matchup between these two. Who's going to win and go on to face Cloud9 in the semifinals, and who's going to lose to drop down to face Donut in that lower bracket? And we're going to find out very shortly between these two teams. I'd love to see a mirror matchup. It seems like Tempo Storm, no matter what composition they're playing, strive on Blades Edge Arena. And to me, it's just the weirdest thing ever. They love that place. They take it. I feel like this team can take advantage of like overextensions or weird positions so well, and it's just very interesting to see. Like looking at the defensive cooldowns that was left for Tempo Storm, makes you think that they figured something out. They absolutely did. I mean, this can't all just be their map. Man, there is some serious smack talk going on right now between these two teams over Real ID. Oh man, it's absolutely wonderful to see. I'm a big fan of smack talk myself. I'm gonna be completely honest. It actually hypes things up so much. And here we go. They're going to be able to put the money where their mouth is here going into game number 5 of this best of 5 series. No, I'm not going to show the smack talk. I'm not going to show it. We're going to be going into the next game here very, very shortly between these two teams. I wonder what compositions we're going to be seeing. Show us the shots fired. Now, if you guys want to see the shots fired, make sure to follow them on Twitter. I'm sure they'll start firing shots over Twitter instead of Real ID if you guys start following them on Twitter. So how about that? Make sure to follow all these guys on Twitter so you can see all the shots fired yourself. Oh man, but here we go. The next map is going to be Ruins of Lordaeron. Welcome everyone to Ruins of Lordaeron. Please sponsor us. Actually swapping their composition over to the Feral Mage Paladin. They do not want to go head to head with the Tempo Storm's Holy Paladin God Comp composition. It's a very interesting change up. And so this is the final series of this best of 5. Please sponsor us. Needs 1 win. Tempo Storm needs 1 win. Who is going to drop down to that lower bracket and who will move on to face Cloud9? We're about to find out here in just a short hot minute. The gates have opened and here we go. Beanslayer enters the arena. Right away, it looks like DJ Peekaboo might be the kill target for Please Sponsor Us for now. RubCub's taking a little bit of pressure, but both these guys are completely fine. Look at the cluster that is this matchup. Full Polymorph lands over out onto Elite. He's going to Trinket Hand of Sacrifice right away. That is the Incarnation Berserk coming out from Beanslayer, so I don't blame Elite to react that way. That Hand of Sacrifice is going to negate a lot of damage, but now the Hodge goes over onto Beanslayer. He's taking a bunch of pressure. He's going to have to Trinket Wall, and this Incarnation is just getting nothing done. All of a sudden, RubCub's coming out of that full polymorph, starting to heal the Beanslayer up. Jimmy Lee getting half cycloned up with Elite in the polymorph as well. Peekaboo is actually taking a bunch of pressure, forcing Elite to use that bubble. And instead of using the disperse, you're going to use the bubble. But now Peekaboo getting fully cycloned up at 60% health here. Wasn't able to get the heals from that bubble. Now a bop as Elite is put into the clone. The bop gets dispelled and Peekaboo could be in a little bit of trouble, but they're turning it around on a Beanslayer. Saber the Light's going to proc and force RubCub to bubble as well. And the Hodge goes over on a Beanslayer. It's just going to be dispelled by RubCub right away. And both these teams are just trading cooldown for cooldown like crazy. Jamili actually getting locked out on so many polymorphs from the kicks from all 3 of these players that Please Sponsor Us. And Peekaboo on the back foot is forced to disperse as Beanslayer connects onto him. The disperse fades and Peekaboo's still in a little bit of trouble. The DR bash onto Elite. The Save by the Light is being ripped through. Now a triple DR polymorph onto Elite and Peekaboo's still at low health. The fear onto RubCub. Peekaboo wants to turn this around. Hodge onto Beanslayer. He's going to get dispelled out of that, however. Horrify onto Beanslayer gets dispelled out of that as well. They really got to cross CC this setup over out onto RubCub on these setups, and they're not going to get anything done with this double dispel glyph that RubCub is running. DJ Peekaboo going to grip Elite back, trying to avoid some more CC. Lands the Mass Dispel on the Deep Freeze, so Peekaboo should be completely fine moving forward in this game. That Mass Dispel is key. And here we go. It looks like Tempo Storm wants to be pushing in. Sam I Am's Hypothermia is going to be fading here. One more Ice Block available for him. He's just going to get polymorphed up over and over and over again by Jamili, trying to free up his team to have the opportunity to get in there and get the setups rolling. But looks like Beanslayer is going to act first. There's the Maim over on Elite into the full Cyclone. Peekaboo getting stunned up here. Hand of Sacrifice being used by Elite outside of that, and it's going to negate a lot of CC over out onto Elite unless they dispel it. Looks like they're going for it. They get every buff above it. Finally, they get it. Beanslayer taking a whole bunch of pressure though as Rubcub beats put through into the fear. He uses the execution sentence. DJ Peekaboo lands the master spell onto Elite, but it just gets read up with another polymorph into another polymorph. Peekaboo without disperse for 30 more seconds. Gotta be careful, but they're really putting on the pressure to Beanslayer. Saberlight's gonna proc over out onto Beanslayer. Aura Mastery from Rubcub should be able to keep his team alive, and Beanslayer just reconnecting over onto Peekaboo. There's the bash. No disperse for 20 seconds. Can they kill him in time? Hodge over out onto Elite. Cyclone over out onto Jamili. Peekaboo at 50% health here. No disperse for 14 more seconds. Is this the end of Peekaboo? Saberlight's going to proc. They're chunking right through it. Polymorphs from Jamili defensively are going to be interrupted on over and over and over again. Sam I Am getting silenced up. Beanslayer getting peeled as well. It looks like Tempo Storm might be able to survive through it. There's the bubble coming out from Elite. He's free casting, but is it going to be enough? Now the Cyclone on a Peekaboo to free up that healing. He can't heal through a Cyclone. Elite now finally able to free cast with those wings as well without the Cyclone, and Peekaboo's going to be picked up quite a bit. Disperse now available for Tempo Storm, and that is exactly what they needed to survive. Now they're swapping it around on a Sam I Am. No block available on Hypothermia. Rubcub using his wings, using his bubble as well, keeping Sam I Am alive. And Peekaboo though on the back foot fighting, being put through Disperse. Elite getting hodged up there. Anything to follow it up. There's a DR Deep Freeze into the full Polymorph. Peekaboo at 50% health is in a lot of trouble here. Beanslayer trying to reconnect here with that Incarnation. He's going to get feared up defensively by Peekaboo. He's going for the Master Spell on Elite. He's going to get interrupted on it as Elite goes into the DR Polymorph. Is this it for Peekaboo? And down he goes. Tempo Storm losing to please sponsor us here in this best of 5 series against the Feral Mage Paladin switch up. There you have it, everybody. This is Please Sponsor Us versus Tempo Storm, the last game of the series. Please Sponsor Us winning 3-2, and what an unbelievable series. All these players played so well. You got to give shout out where shout outs are due, and that's what I'm here for. Beanslayer, Sam I Am, and Rubcub doing so well, as well as Merc Minds running with Tempo Storm, Elite, Jamili, and Peekaboo, as well as Starship. These guys are all so very